Now, let's also talk about America. America was founded by Freemasons. Okay? That's not a secret. And so, that being said, we know that every president is a Freemason. We know that all of the presidents are related through bloodline, which is a blueprint for secret society to be to keep the bloodline royal and for everybody to be related. And so we know that this country was not only founded by Freemasons, but it's still ran by Freemasons. Now, why is this important? Do you think that a Freemason will give you the power to vote them out of power? Are you stupid? And so now let's fast forward to 2018. And we done had all of these fuckery presidents. Ronald Reagan, George Bush, every last president. The only decent president we ever had was Kennedy, and you see what they do to decent ass presidents. They blow their goddamn brains out. Now, that being said, only idiots vote. Only idiots vote. Do you know why only idiots vote? Because only idiots don't realize that this is not a country. This is a corporation. Only idiots don't realize that Freemasons run the country, and there's no way a Freemason would actually ever give you power to take them out of power. Only idiots, okay, Europeans, actually believe that this government give a fuck about them more than they give a fuck about anybody else. This government only give a fuck about money, power, and military.
Pleasure. Lando?
Yes, Mr. President, I'm going to tell you everything you need to know about 5G technology in about 2 minutes, okay? Guys like Jeff Immelt and various Internet of Things, drones, autonomous cars are going to require a whole different level of speed and wireless networks. If you come over here, this is a residential neighborhood. If you want to get the kind of speeds required today, these lights are fiber. We have to take fiber to every one of these houses to get that kind of bandwidth. What 5G does says forget about all that fiber out here. Get fiber to this small cell, which Marcelo is going to show you here. This small cell will broadcast this kind of bandwidth to all these homes, okay? You no longer need to run fiber in here. So you can have speeds that are multiples of what the fastest cable technology can deliver today into the home with wireless technology. If you move into the city, what's happening? If you want to get that bandwidth in there, the same thing. Fiber run to every one of these buildings. It takes a long time digging up roads, bridges, and sidewalks and so forth. 5G says no longer. In fact, all you need are small cells inside the city. And we can light up these buildings here as well, right? And then as you move to Wi-Fi, we have Wi-Fi deployed in these buildings all over the place. So customers moving in and out of a Wi-Fi arrangement. You can see the old big cell technology sitting on top of buildings, broadcasting throughout the city. But down on the street level, the customer is being put on whatever network gives them the fastest speeds. This could be an autonomous car. It could be any number of things. And so as the car moves, it gets moved back and forth between the networks into another 5G deployment. And you're getting these kind of multiple gigabit speeds throughout cities without all the fiber having to be deployed into all these buildings. It really accelerates it. Makes us get to the market much faster.
So 5 years ago, 10 years ago, you couldn't have even imagined
Wouldn't have thought about it. No, sir, we would not have. And this is 2018. We're deploying this kind of configuration, and the companies in here are. And in 2020, it becomes mobile. And so this handset will be getting these speeds.
So there has to be a tremendous construction saving, too, ultimately.
It's a huge construction saving. You don't have to deploy all this fiber. You see this little cell site here. You're going from deploying these big cell sites and towers to deploying these all over cities. That's what Marcelo is going to show you, what this technology looks like now.
So, Mr. President, if I can summarize 5G, is $275 billion of investment in the next 7 years, the creation of 3 million new jobs, and a contribution of $500 billion to the GDP of the United States. What is different between 4G and 5G? 4G, those were enormous towers that look quite ugly. We're going to move to deploy millions of this, hundreds of thousands and then millions of small cells all over the United States. The problem that we have is it takes us 1 year to get a city to give us a permit, but it takes us 1 hour to install them. And unless we can install them real fast, we're going to lose that leadership that we have today. We're going to lose that leadership that we have today. we're going to lose that leadership that we have today. Those huge towers, all it is now, it's just a small cell. You put this on the utility poles, you put it in the cable strands, and that's all we need in order to enable. So when people ask about 5G,
But they're mostly local permits you need?
basically we run into trouble with cities, municipalities, counties. Each one has its own idea of how much they should charge, how long should it take.
How much is a federal permit? How long does that take?
Well, this mainly would go down to the cities.
Local.
We're working quite well with
You
the
have
cities.
individual problems with certain cities.
There's some cities that takes 30 days, there's some cities that takes 2 years, so it's impossible to deploy. So this is why we need to fix this. And that's what 5G, when everybody talks about 5G,
We can do a recommendation to the cities all over the country to get it going, and Gary, maybe they can move it faster. Because this is truly a great process, but why don't we do a very strong letter of recommendation so they can get it done much faster? And we're doing that all over the country, you know what?
Shot
You know
clocks.
what?
The FCC at one time put in place to deploy these kind of cell sites.
Yeah.
Shot clocks. You had 180 days to get a permit done, or say no permit. Something similar is going to need to be done.
Well, we're doing that with highways. It would take sometimes 15 to 20 years to get permits to build a small road or highway. And we are going to bring it down, trying to bring it down to 1 year, maximum 1 year. And you have the same thing. This is much easier.
so
This is really much easier, believe me.
the US is a leader in 4G. We lost 3G. And every country, China, Europe, is basically streamlining the process to get there
So
faster.
this will be going into many other countries. By other companies, by you, by who?
We only operate in the US, and our goal is to basically, we want the US to lead 5G because of the speed, because of the job
You
creation.
will if you can get your permits.
Absolutely.
China has much less trouble getting permits. Okay?
The central government. Thank you, Mr. President. Great to see you.
Thank you so much.
Great job.
If China was banned from Google and 5G through China was banned from the US, and Trump in March just created the 5G Security and Beyond Act to have a more restrict protocol on 5G, then we want to know who the fuck is giving permission for these 5G towers to keep going up while we on lockdown, because that's not a secret. And so I don't know. I'm not gonna say I don't know, but I'm having a hard time real understanding if the government is acknowledging that this shit is harmful and there's been laws set in place to restrict 5G, then who is giving the okay for 5G to go up constantly if it's already been legally accredited to be harmful? That's what I want to know. That's what I want to know. So is the deep state or is these organizations putting this shit up behind Trump back? That's what I want to know. Now, you might say, Pharaoh, they can't do nothing behind the president back. You don't know what the fuck somebody could do. You don't know what the fuck somebody could do. So, either, this is what it's coming down to, okay? Either Trump is visibly fighting the deep state, which we all can see, and he's allowing 5G to still come in right now, unbeknownst to us, or Trump is fighting the deep state, and behind his back, or his protocol, somebody is putting these motherfucking 5G towers up, okay? Because I didn't put all the videos in here, but I put a couple. You can easily just go on Twitter, go on YouTube, and type in 5G put up in schools. This is all from March. This is all from March of parents catching people in the schools trying to put up 5G towers. See that? So who the fuck is giving permission to be doing this?
I want to thank you all for being here to discuss a critical issue for our country's future. Winning the race to be the world's leading provider of 5G cellular communications networks. It's all about 5G now. We were 4G and everybody was saying we have to get 4G. And then they said, before that, we have to get 3G. And now we have to get 5G, and 5G is a big deal. And that's going to be there for a while. And I guess at some point we'll be talking to you about number 6. What do you think? Do you think that's true, Asia? But right now we want to be the leader in this. We're the leader in almost everything else. And we're grateful to be joined by FCC Chairman Ajit Pai, who's been doing a fantastic job, and Deputy Secretary of Agriculture, Stephen Sensky. Thank you very much, Stephen. Appreciate it. And tell Sonny hello. He's doing a tremendous job. Really tremendous. Secure 5G networks will absolutely be a vital link to America's prosperity and national security in the 21st century. 5G will be as much as 100 times faster than the current 4G cellular networks. It will transform the way our citizens work, learn, communicate, and travel. It'll make American farms more productive, American manufacturing more competitive, and American healthcare better and more accessible. Basically, it covers almost everything when you get right down to it. Pretty amazing. And just as 4G networks paved the way for smartphones and all of the exciting breakthroughs, they made possible so many things. This will be more secure and resilient. 5G networks will also create astonishing and really thrilling new opportunities for our people. Opportunities that we've never even thought we had a possibility of looking at. We cannot allow any other country to outcompete the United States in this powerful industry of the future. We are leading by so much in so many different industries of that type, and we just can't let that happen. The race to 5G is a race America must win, and it's a race, frankly, that our great companies are now involved in. We've given them the incentive they need. It's a race that we will win. In the United States, our approach is private sector driven and private sector led. The government doesn't have to spend lots of money. According to some estimates, the wireless industry plans to invest $275 billion in 5G networks, creating 3 million American jobs quickly, very quickly, and adding $500 billion to our economy. And as you probably heard, we had another alternative of doing it. That would be through government investment and leading through the government. We don't want to do that because it won't be nearly as good, nearly as fast, and especially in that business, I think that they'll be better doing the job than a lot of the folks that we know and love. To accelerate and incentivize these investments, my administration is focused on freeing up as much wireless spectrum as needed. We're going to free it up so they'll be able to get out there and get it done, and removing regulatory barriers to the build-out of networks. As Chairman Pai will discuss with you in a moment, the FCC is taking very bold action, probably bolder than they've ever taken before. It's a new frontier. It's a new frontier to make wireless spectrum available. By next year, the United States is on pace to have more 5G spectrum than any other country in the world. That's a big statement because, as you know, some people got ahead of us. We should have been doing this a long time ago, as advanced as it may be, as advanced as it may be. In addition, last October, I directed the Department of Commerce to develop a national spectrum strategy to free up even more spectrum for economic activity, including 5G. The FCC has also taken action to streamline the permitting process for 5G infrastructure with state and local governments. That's a big deal. It takes too long to get permits. We're going to free that situation up, and we're going to put limits, and the local areas are going to listen to us very, very strongly. They have a big incentive to do that. They must now approve new physical infrastructure within 90 days instead of many years. It can sometimes take 3, 4, and 5 years. We're going to put a limit of 90 days. And there is now a cap on the unreasonable fees local governments often charge. They get greedy. They think, hey, we can really take advantage, and it ends up that everybody gets hurt. So we're putting a cap on those fees. These changes will contribute greatly to building high-speed networks across America, and it's going to happen very quickly, very, very quickly. By the end of this year, the United States will have 92 5G deployments in markets nationwide. The next nearest country, South Korea, will have 48. So we have 92 compared to 48, and we're going to accelerate that pace greatly. But we must not rest. The race is far from over. American companies must lead the world in cellular technology. 5G networks must be secure. They must be strong. They have to be guarded from the enemy. We do have enemies out there, and they will be. They must also cover every community, and they must be deployed as soon as possible. but it really explains what a disaster it is. This is where we were in 1960, and when we're finished, which won't be in too long a period of time, we will be less than where we were in 1960, and we will have a great regulatory climate. Okay? Come on up here, Chris. Come on. You work so hard. Elaine, are you okay? Come on.
Yep.
You okay?
Yep, fine.
She has a lot to do with it. She has things called roads. That's a big, and bridges, right?
Yes.
Okay. 1, 2, 3. Maybe we should go to Chris, right? He worked so hard.
Yes.
Huh?
She's the real
Come on,
champion.
Andy, get up here, Andy. Get up here. That's for you, okay?
Oh, thank you.
If China was banned from Google and 5G through China was banned from the US, and Trump in March just created the 5G Security and Beyond Act to have a more restrict protocol on 5G, then we want to know who the fuck is giving permission for these 5G towers to keep going up while we on lockdown. Because that's not a secret. And so I don't know. I'm not going to say I don't know, but I'm having a hard time real understanding if the government is acknowledging that this shit is harmful and there's been laws set in place to restrict 5G, then who is giving the okay for 5G to go up constantly if it's already been legally accredited to be harmful? That's what I want to know. That's what I want to know. So is the deep state or is these organizations putting this shit up behind Trump back? That's what I want to know. Now you might say, Pharaoh, they can't do nothing behind the president back. You don't know what the fuck somebody could do. You don't know what the fuck somebody could do. So either this is what it's coming down to. Okay? Either Trump is visibly fighting the deep state, which we all can see, and he's allowing 5G to still come in right now, unbeknownst to us, or Trump is fighting the deep state, and behind his back or his protocol, somebody is putting these motherfucking 5G towers up. Okay? Because I didn't put all the videos in here, but I put a couple. You can easily just go on Twitter, go on YouTube, and type in 5G put up in schools. This is all from March. This is all from March of parents catching people in the schools trying to put up 5G towers. See that? So who the fuck is giving permission to be doing this?
Because of the way the government auctions off our wireless spectrum, U.S. consumers pay a lot more for wireless data than anybody else in the world. And the president wants to change that. He also wants to use these changes in parceling out spectrum in a way that's going to help us lead the way in 5G technology. The president tweeted out earlier today, I want 5G and even 6G technology in the U.S. as soon as possible. It is far more powerful, faster, and smarter than the current standard. Luke Ventures managing partner Gene Munster joins us now. So, Gene, as simply as possible, because this isn't very easy, but make it simple. Can the president combine lower internet costs while putting us in the lead for 5G?
Unlikely to provide lower internet costs is likely to help accelerate the rollout of 5G. And David, if I can quickly talk about that, is that there's this auction process that you talked about. It's complicated today. The government runs that auction process. What that means is this is the tower companies and the carriers getting spectrum to provide this service. So there's a way that the government can make that easier, which will help get these licenses, which help kind of roll out. There's also a hardware piece to this, which the government maybe can help facilitate and fast track, and maybe even give some financial incentives to the tower companies to build 5G.
It will generate tens of billions of dollars in economic activity. And that's damn important because it means that U.S. companies will be the first out of the gate. And that is why 5G is a national priority. And stay out of the way of technological development. Unlike some countries, we do not believe that we should spend the next couple of years studying what 5G should be or how it should operate. The future agencies and regulators to define the future. We won't wait for the standards. We're already seeing the industry gearing up to seize this opportunity. Verizon and AT&T tell us they'll begin deploying 5G trials in 2017, and the first commercial deployments they're talking about are expected in 2020. And we're not done. As part of our July 14 action, we also plan to ask for comments on opening up other high-frequency bands. Many of the high-frequency bands that we will make available for 5G currently have some satellite users, as well as some Defense Department applications, or at least the possibility of future satellite and defense users. This means sharing will be required between satellite and terrestrial wireless, an issue that is especially relevant in the 28 gigahertz band. But if anyone tells you that they know the details of what 5G is going to become, run the other way. If something can be connected, it will be connected. If something can be connected, it will be connected. Hundreds of billions of microchips connected in products from pill bottles to plant waterers. Hundreds of billions of microchips connected in products from pill bottles to plant waterers. We must reject the notion that the 5G future will be the sole provenance of urban areas. The 5G revolution will touch all